So it is the second restoration prompt, which is the oldest book on your TBR. I don't know if this is the oldest book on my TR, but it's for sure TR. Oh, I forgot I need glasses for this book because the words are so tiny. So yes, I have read a book that actually is required for my career. Look at me doing what I'm supposed to do. And then I did make some progress. Hello everybody, my name is Kelsey and we're about to get very, very nerdy with week 3 of the Magical Readathon. So, welcome back to a new week. It's the middle of the week, yet again. Very good at this vlogging thing. But I've got some, I don't want to say ambitious plans, but I've got some exciting plans. I literally spent part of today, like, planning out the rest of, well, not the entire rest of the year, but a lot of the rest of the year as far as videos go, and I've got a lot of fall plans. Also, I'm just very ready for fall. So I'm feeling the fall vibes. So I'm hoping that this week I can start to get down to some of those books that I put on this list that could be kind of part of my fall TBR, if you will, and hopefully some witchy books, starting with the one that I am bringing over from last week, which is The Monarchs by Cass Morgan and Daniel Page. This basically follows, I kind of talked about it a lot in the last vlog. Also, I read the first book, this is the sequel, The Ravens, last year, so I talked about that a bunch. This is only a duology, so we are done here as of right now, unless the authors have other things planned and just haven't announced it yet. This is where we technically should end. But this series basically follows a sorority on a college campus that is very picky about the members that they bring into the sorority. So many people are just kind of like, they think they're snotty and like snooty and like better, they think that they're better than everybody, but really it's actually a coven, and the only people who are invited to be part of the sorority are other witches. So if you're in the sorority, you know why you're there, but if you're not, you're just like, they're really snobby. And so based on events in the first book, we follow the same characters. But our main two characters are Scarlet and Vivi, who are big and little. It is a senior and a freshman. So in the first book, Vivi is discovering her power. She didn't realize that she was a witch and gets assigned to Scarlet and is really starting college for the first time, all of the fun college things as a freshman, but also finding out about her powers, and then some crazy stuff happens. And Scarlett's just kind of like leading her through it and is being groomed to become president. She might not be a senior, she probably is a junior, but is being groomed to become the president of the sorority. And so this just continues on. Awesome witchy vibes. I loved the first book in this series, and so far the same vibes are there. I'm very interested to see where we can go, because like things happened in the first book, so like these follow the repercussions of that, but also other things are happening and I need answers, and I'm only 100 pages in, so like according to Goodreads, that's like 20% of the way through. And I already need answers because like things have started to go down, and I'm now invested. So I read a bunch of it today, so hopefully we'll get through this one in the next couple of days. This is required both for my personal TBR as well as is a required reading for my career, and that one is the first shape-shifting prompt, which is wings on the cover, as you can see, with the butterfly wings and also like all of the butterflies on it. It's literally covered in wings. The cover is wings. So that's what I'm hoping to get to. I'm very excited about this one because I loved the first one so much. So like I think I have high expectations for this, but so far they are living up to it. So bringing this one over from last week, I do have the Oh No and Very Secret Society of Witches Kindle book that I've been reading and have definitely not touched at all. So we'll see if I get around to that. That one also has like modern witchy vibes, so I'm not sure if I should wait until I'm done with the Monarchs to pick that one up again, but they have very different settings, so we'll see. But those are the two that I'm bringing over from last week. I do have some extra plans as far as other books I'd like to get to this week. I'm feeling the witchy vibes, so I'd like to get to Ashante by Cheetah to Release, which I did actually read the first couple of chapters in recently for my try a chapter tag or challenge that I did. I'll leave it linked down below or up above if you'd like to check it out. But like the idea of this is that we follow our main character Camille at the time of like right before the French Revolution, so the court of Marie Antoinette, and it's like at a time where like magic is a no-no, but she's keeping them alive, and she like gets swept up through the court and all the beauty of the court and stuff like that. But I love Marie Antoinette, and that time period is just very interesting to me. So I'm excited about this one. This one does follow a prompt for a book that is required for my career. So it is the second restoration prompt, which is the oldest book on your TBR. I'm not sure if this is the oldest book on my TBR, but it's definitely way up there. I do think it has a new name though, because I could only find it with like All That Glitters Is Gold or All That Glitters or something like that is the title. So I think it has had a title change. So I'm feeling the witchy vibes. So we'll pick up maybe a historical witchy book after that. And then another book that I'd like to get to is the second volume of Descender by Jeff Lemire and Dustin Nguyen. This is a continuation. I read the first one last month and utterly adored it. This one is in for, which prompt is it? For Animal Studies, which is a book featuring an animal companion. So this one has like a robot dog as a companion, but like this world is all about machines and robots. So I feel like that should work for this world. I am very excited about this. This follows a little bot called Tim, and he was built as a companion for young kids, so he's built to be like a 12-year-old kid robot version, and this world really sets off when it gets attacked by these giant monsters called the Harvesters, and it's been 10 years since that happened, and he has something in his genetic code, or maybe not genetic code, but like in his code that is the same as these giant bots, and so many people are out to get him, and like this little group kind of collects him to protect him, study him, figure out kind of what the heck is going on, hoping these harvester bot things don't come back. I adored the first volume. I gave it 5 stars. I thought it was amazing. I have now gone out and purchased the rest of the series, so I had to get the second one on this month. Plus we do like a shorter book in between some longer ones. So those are the 3 that are like my main focus. I'm sure there are other things. I mean, I've got loads of other books that I want to read as well. So those are just a few books that I'd like to get to. The ones I want to focus on this week, I'm happy to continue. Obviously, I've got many other books on this TBR, but those are the 3 that I really want to focus on. So stay tuned if I do that. We shall see. Hopefully I'm a much better vlogger this week than I have been in the past, and I can show you the fun stuff coming out. I don't know. We're just really hanging out at home. So stay tuned. I'll let you know how it goes. Hello. It is Friday, and look at me. I am coming to you before the end of this vlog because I have updates. I finished a book. I finished The Monarchs by Cass Morgan and Daniel Page, and this is just as good as the first one. I gave it 5 stars. I'm obsessed with the series, and I have a lot of the same feelings about this one as I did the first one. So I kind of have already talked to you guys about this, but this follows a sorority, and really what the second book is about is, yes, the repercussions of the first book. There's a rival sorority on campus that is starting to become like the top sorority, if you will, and it's all of these girls trying to figure out what's going on. So weird stuff is going on campus. They're trying to figure out what is happening, and I just really adored the characters. I felt like all the characters were the same. Like it wasn't what am I looking for? I felt like this really built on the characters from the first book. There wasn't any unnecessary strain or anything like that. It was really just these girls trying to figure out what the heck is going on. And I really love the witchy elements. They're all based on tarot decks and card suits. So there are 3 main powers. They're cups, swords, and something else, and I can't remember what it is, but there's 3 of them, and it's basically like you are one of these 3, and that's, you can do all forms of magic, but if you're a specific thing, like for example, if you're a cup or if you're a sword, then like you're really good at this specific type of magic, and so that becomes wands. That's the other one. So if you're like a wand, you're really good at this type of magic. If you're a sword, you're really good at this type of magic, and so like those types come easier to you, but you can still do everything, and other people can do wand magic, sword magic, that kind of stuff. I'm not like, they're not physically doing magic with a wand or a sword, but it's like some are really good at charms and like mind stuff. Some are really good at like nature and herbs and things like that. So whatever house house group you're in, that's the magic that you are going to be the best at, but you can do it all, which I found really interesting. I will say there is a little bit of like gruesomeness in this book because some of the magic has to do with blood. I think it might be the same in the first book, but I don't remember, but it's very prominent in this one. So trigger warnings for self-harm and things like that, because that does play into the magic system a little bit. But loved this, loved the twists and turns and all that kind of stuff set in this book. I was just like the first one, you think you know who, like, not the who done it, but who like the bad guy is, and then like all of a sudden you're wrong. But I adore this. It's perfect witchy vibes, perfect if you like that school setting. I loved it being set at college because in my experience, there hasn't been a whole lot of college or books set in college. It's a lot of books set in high school. So I love this. I love this so much, and it wraps up perfectly, and I'm really happy. I'm really happy with it. I was super worried because I had like crazy high expectations for this book, but it seems everything was okay and everything turned out great. And like, I don't really know what to say about this book because it is a sequel, and so much of this book is built on the first one that there's not a whole lot I can really say about it. But if you like witchy vibes, if you like it being set in school, if you like kind of like that academic, you know, setting, it's not really an academia book. It's more of like a light, I always say call it like a light academia, because like it's not dark academia, I don't think, but it does have those settings, but with magic, and I love it. So yes, I will be revisiting these characters for sure because I loved every second of it, and this got 5 stars. So yes, I have read a book that actually is required for my career. Look at me doing what I'm supposed to do. It's a great day. It's a great day. So yes, another book down. Very excited about that. I have also started Ashante just a little bit. I'm only in chapter 3, or I've made it through chapter 3, so I'm on page 14. It's very exciting. The chapters are literally pages, so like super, super short. I was gonna listen to it on the way home yesterday, but something kind of gross happened in the third chapter. Like, not gross, like blood things happened, and I'm not good with blood, so like I had to stop listening to that while I was driving. So we're hoping to get to this one some more this weekend. We don't have a whole lot of plans this weekend. I think I mentioned earlier we do have a friend's baby shower that we're going to, but beyond that, it's a hang out at home kind of weekend. So maybe a lot of reading done. I definitely want to get Descender Volume 2 done this weekend. That is like my goal for the weekend, is to finish that, which I think is for sure possible. And if I can make some progress in this one, that would be great. But that's kind of my update for now. I have finished a book that is actually required, and I loved it. 5 stars. I think that's my first 5-star for the month. And honestly, like, something has to be really, really... That's not true. Sorry, I'm looking at my list, and I think I gave Lore Olympus 5 stars as well. But something has to be really, really, really good in order to, like, bump the Monarchs out of favorites of the month list, like spot. So we'll see. There's contenders, but I'm very happy. I'm so happy. I'm just so happy it went well. I was so nervous because I put so much pressure on like loving this book. So I'm really glad that it worked. Oh, it's good. Tuesday. This is now a theme. And I'm here to wrap up this vlog. I have done some reading since I talked to you last. Not a whole lot, but I was able to finish volume 2 of Descender. This one is by Jeff Lemire and Dustin Le Guin. I had to give this one 4.5 stars. I didn't love it nearly as much as the first one, and I don't know if that's because I waited too long before I read this one, even though I really only waited a couple of weeks, or if there was something else in the mix that I didn't. There's just a lot that happened in this one, and I was very confused for a lot of it. But we got some big reveals as far as characters that we were introduced to and who they were, and some overarching things, and it ended on a cliffhanger. So I can see myself trying to squeeze the third one in. We'll see if it actually happens, because I have many things I still need to read. But as far as I'm gonna need to pick up the third one really soon, because when I say cliffhanger, I mean cliffhanger. But I liked kind of the continuation of the story. I did like kind of seeing where all of our characters ended up. I'm not in love with some of the things that are going on. I'm very confused, but we are being introduced to different parts of the world that we haven't seen before, and so there's going to be some of the world building that comes along with that. So I'm still very excited about this. I mean, it still got 4.5 stars, so clearly I still really enjoyed it. But the first half of this, I was just kind of like, this is okay. I mean, we're okay, same characters, I'm enjoying that part, but the story is just fine. And then we got to the second half, and things took a turn, and things happened. And so it's really hard to talk about because it is the sequel, and because of some of the things that happened in the first book, I don't want to spoil anything, but it does kind of continue on from the first volume. We follow all of our main characters. Tim, 21, is being introduced to some new people, and because he's such a kid, he's super naive, and so things happen and he just kind of goes along with the flow. But again, I'm very nervous because of where we ended with this book or this volume, so I need the third one very soon, and I really enjoyed it. I'm still not in love with the art style. I'm not sure I ever will be, because it's just kind of okay. It's very rough. It feels very much like oil on paper kind of texture in some of these pictures. I mean, it also could be that they're drawing these really creepy alien kind of people, and they're very bizarre, and I do not enjoy looking at them. But even the humans in this world are just kind of the art style is just kind of generally okay. But I'm not someone who needs the art style to be beautiful to enjoy it, so that kind of works, but it does hinder it just a little bit because I'm more focused on the story than I am on the art. Whereas for example, Lore Olympus, I'm obsessed with the art in that book, so I take my time when I read that, whereas this one I kind of just fly through because I'm only really focusing on the words. Either way, I'm still really enjoyed it. We have things that need to be talked about in the next volume, and yeah, I will for sure be picking up the next volume. If I can squeeze it in this month, we'll see. I'm not so sure with it being only one real week left, but I can see myself squeezing it in the beginning of next month as well, because these graphic novels are really easy to squeeze in. So yeah, another one down. This was required for my career. I can't remember which class it was for, but the prompt was a companion, so an animal companion, and well, it's not really an animal. He does have a little dog that's kind of like a companion. It's a robot dog, so it's not alive per se, but for this world that's made up of mostly half robots, half human living things, I'm going to count that as a companion. So I think it was animal studies or something like that, and I only need one class. So as of right now, if I remember correctly, I have finished 3 classes that are required. I think I finished about half of the prompts I need to, which is not great for being only almost done with the month. But this week I did end up finishing 2 books. So I did finish The Monarchs and I did finish Descender, which are both required for my career, so at least I was going in the right direction. And then I did make some progress in Ashante. I am 190, almost 200 pages into this book. According to Goodreads, I'm 41%. I think I'm closer to 45%. I'm on chapter 31, And I'm enjoying this one. It's fine. I mean, there's nothing spectacular about what's going on. It's following our main character Camille, and she has la magique, or like magical powers. And so she has been basically using them because her brother is a soldier, but he's not actually going to his job. He's basically like addicted to drinking, addicted to gambling, and like spends all of their money. And he just shows up and like steals from her and like her sister. So their parents have died, and it's literally the three of them, and he should be the one who's making all the money, and he's literally not making any money and just spending everything. So she has the ability to turn like metal into coins, but it doesn't stay that way. So like she can never visit a shop twice, and she only can use, like, she can go in and out very, very quickly, because then like the money turns back into buttons, nails, whatever it was before. But she's trying to get by, and I will say trigger warnings for this, for like a domestic abuse, especially from the brother. It's very much on the page, and so like there's a lot there. But basically she ends up finding this book that her mother had, because her mother also could do magic, and this grimoire that like helps her turn herself kind of like into this lady at the court, and she goes to basically Marie Antoinette's court and gambles so that she can win money, and so they can live, they can eat. Hopefully, at first it's just because they're trying to pay rent, and she refuses to give the lady who they pay rent for fake coins, obviously because A, they're going to turn back into buttons, whatever they are, but also because like this lady's been super, super nice and like knows them and their parents, and is like, hey, your rent's a couple of weeks overdue, but like I'll keep holding on, but eventually I am going to have to like kick you out if you don't pay. And so the point is to get rent, and then she just keeps doing more. And there's also a side plot with this guy that she meets who is creating like balloons, but like the ones that you, oh my gosh, I forgot what they were called, but like the ones that are in the air that you can ride. Very good at this, but like he's kind of creating one of those, and they meet through that, and so there's kind of like a side plot of that. And like I said, I'm about halfway through, and there are parts of it that I'm enjoying. I'm enjoying the slide plot with the guy. I'm enjoying seeing her and her sister kind of like go from absolutely terrible situations to better situations, but there's a lot of gambling in this book, and like that's fine, whatever, but it's not what I expected. And so like I'm not really enjoying those parts, because like those parts stress me out, because like she's using magic to win, and so I'm just waiting for someone to find out what's going on. So honestly, like generally, this book's just generally okay. I still want to finish it. I'm not feeling like a DNF quite yet, but this is the first in a series, and if it goes the way that it has been going, I don't think I'm going to pick up the second one. I just like, I don't know, like I feel like there are high stakes, but I'm not sure like what could happen, and like nothing is really happening. It's just like her going to gamble and going back home, and gambling and going back home, and then going on a date with this guy and then going back home. And so like I don't know, like there's just not a lot, and I'm waiting for like the shoe to drop, but it's okay. I'd give it a 3 stars if I had to rate it right now. So we'll continue this one into the week. And then I did also actually read a couple of chapters in The Secret Society of Witches, or whatever. I can never remember what it's called, but that book. And I'm really enjoying that one as well. I keep forgetting to like pick it up, and also like I'm running out of time to pick it up. So it actually came out today as of filming this. I'm very good at reading arcs on time, but I'm hoping to get to that by the end of the month, because it is really, really good, and I am really enjoying it. Basically, that book, I haven't really talked about it in a couple weeks, but that book follows this woman who is a witch, and like in this world, witches are like kind of hidden, and they never hang out together, because having too much power in one place is dangerous, and like get discovered, and then also like bad things can happen, like environmental things, like things can explode and stuff like that. And so she actually makes YouTube videos and actually uses magic, but plays it off as like, I'm using magic. And then she gets this message that basically has this guy that asked her to come to his house because he has 3 young witches that need help, and he's asking her to like tutor them. And so that's kind of like the point of it. It's also a romance with her, and I believe it's going to be the guy who plays the librarian. He's very like rugged, and is not like, it feels very enemies to lovers. But where I'm at in like chapter 3, she has now made it to this house and has witnessed these 3 witches, like young. I think the oldest one is like 7. Is that right? Maybe 10, but they're all like young. And so I think it's gonna be really sweet. Again, it's all giving me vibes of House of the Cerulean Sea. So I think if you like that book and you like something that's like that, but like witchy vibes, this is definitely something that you would enjoy. Hoping to make some progress on that. Well, I'm hoping to finish it next week. But I did make some progress, and I have been really enjoying it. So I'm hoping that momentum will carry. So those are the 2 books that I'm bringing over into next week. But I did, like I said, finish 2. I had a 5-star and a 4.5. So really a great week. But yeah, that's really all I have for you guys for this vlog. I hope that you enjoyed. Please let me know, as always, if you're participating or not. What are you reading? How is your reading going for August? We've got about a week or so left in the month. So what are you trying to squeeze in before the end of the month is over? Let me know. But if you like this video, and I very much hope that you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below if you'd like to be part of this awesome growing family. I've also got all my social media down there, as well as other fun bookish links, so don't forget to check all of that out, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!